Hey, welcome everybody to Unscripted Real Estate Talk. It is again Wednesday. It's the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. We're going to date the show a little bit with that. Hey, I love this time of year because everybody gets together, gets to see their family, their friends, their past clients. This is my chance to call a lot of clients and say hi. We are going to have a fantastic day today. I've got a really good friend. I have an awesome SOB in the business, just like me, and an awesome realtor, and an awesome dad. And just a good all-around guy. I got Joseph Bograd with the Bograd Experience coming in live today on Unscripted Real Estate. There you go.
Thank you, my man. Thank you for having me. This is amazing. This is an amazing. I'm on air. I'm nervous. I'm happy. I'm happy to see you. This is a first for me. So I'm happy I could be here to join you on this holiday week.
Hey, hold on. How can you be nervous on the radio? Nobody can see you, and you're on so many posts. You're at 70,000 followers.
You know what? I'm like, because I'm just so accustomed to having the camera in front of me now. I've never been on the radio, so this is kind of a new territory for me. But this is great. I'm watching you in action, so I'm feeling more and more comfortable as I see you speak. So I'm going to ease into it.
Well, we're going to ease into this. But the fun part is, everybody. I'm really good for the radio because I don't have the face for the radio.
You sound great, man.
You have. You have the face for the TV.
Oh, thank you.
So you just want to talk closer and we're good. All right, so Unscripted Real Estate Talk. Follow me always out there. Craig Lurch selling 215. You know what the best part about real estate is? Joseph's been doing this for decades. I've been doing this for decades.
Make me
He's
feel
a
old.
son of a broker. Yeah, well, no. There's a lot of experience with it. But a lot of people say, why do you guys collaborate? Because when you're at the top levels and you do it, it's fun. You hear experiences, you learn things.
You need to work together in this industry. And I think the ones that are successful are the ones that work together. You can't say, listen, I'm going to list this property and I'm just going to try to sell it on my own because my sphere of influence is such and such. But opening it up to other brokers that are experienced, that are savvy, that are in the business so long, they have other buyers that can potentially sell my listing. So I wouldn't want to work together. We want to collaborate. We want to work together to build our business and build our circle so we can sell more. And, listen, life's too short. We need to work together to make money together, not to work against each other. We have to work with each other.
Exactly. I mean, my 3 funnels, and I mentioned earlier, are change lives, make money, and have fun.
100%.
Working with buyers, sellers, negotiating contracts, working with other agents, working with, letting somebody pull out in front of you. If you're running late, it's one car.
Happened today. I was driving. This guy literally tried to cut me off. I'm like, why? Like, what's the purpose of you cutting me off? And then he stuck behind me and he's like, give me the finger. I'm like, it's the holiday season. Let's be happy. Let's be good to each other. Life's too short, man. It's not.
And you got to make money because the only person that can change lives without making money was Mother Teresa.
That's right.
So, if you want to donate, you want to give charity, you got to do that.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's fun. It's got to have fun. I mean, you and I have been giggling for the past half hour.
I thought we were filming this half an hour ago. We should have been filming that before, too. It's very genuine. We get along very well. We've known each other for like 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, so, I've been doing this 24. You've been doing this at least, what?
36.
36. Oh,
Come on,
God.
man. Almost as long. You were 11 when I started this.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, you go. You were 11. With your daughter's age.
Just she just turned 12. So, yeah.
There you go. And the twins' birthday was?
My twins' birthday's this Saturday. They're going to be 17. I will. Michael and Ava, happy birthday, soon to be. And, Lily, happy birthday in September. Yeah, they're great kids. They're great kids. So I hope they're listening.
There you go. So you were born and raised in Philly.
Born and raised in Philly in 78. My parents emigrated from the former Soviet Union. They met here. They had me. We lived in Philly for like 4 or 5 years. Mm-hmm. And then we moved to Bucks County. My dad was in real estate from 82. So I was always around real estate. So I was never, I'm like, maybe I'll help him out down the road, but I never thought seriously about it. I thought I was going to be a chef, then an attorney, and then ended up in military school. So that all changed. So I was in military school for like 5 years. And when I got out of military school, I went to Penn State for like a year, and then I went to Temple for like a semester. And I'm like, this is not for me. And my dad's like, why don't you get into real estate? This is like 2000. And I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll get my license. So I got my license. And at the time, my dad opened up a title company. And I was working at the title company, learning the background of title. Most agents, I'm not sure, you probably know
most
too,
don't.
They have no idea what goes on in the title office. They don't know how to read a HUD. They don't know how to read a title policy. So I learned all of that, reading HUDs, title policies, doing conveyancing, doing all the work that most agents don't even understand goes into a transaction. So I learned it from that angle. I also worked in the mortgage business as well. So I knew the mortgage industry. I knew the title industry. So it kind of made my job getting my license in real estate a lot simpler. So I knew all the ins and outs, not only writing contracts, but negotiating and the background stuff, which was great.
Yeah, I mean, you got to know that, I love it when the agents say, I don't know. We do it. How often do you do the job for the other person and they get paid? I do it just to get it to the table for my client.
All the
it
time.
Drives you crazy.
I just want to get the deal done. Our job is to get the deal done, to make it as simple as possible. I don't want any headaches. So sometimes I go to closings and the agent's like, to the title agent, can you read the HUD? I'm like, you don't read the HUD? He's like, no, the mortgage docs, they don't know how to do anything. So I'm like, well, let me just do it for you, just to expedite things. But we should know. We should know that industry. I mean, it just makes sense.
When I first got into the business, I actually got taught how to do the HUD in a pencil, and I had to do it.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I had to do it in case something didn't happen. But all right, I'm gonna jump on something real quick. So, Philly, what do you love the best about Philly? I love the grit. I love the passion. We've been running around.
I love the
city.
birds. Go Birds.
Go
right?
Birds. No, they kind of choked the other day. Come on, Saquon. Come on.
We got to get them up and running. But no, I love the birds. I love the grit. I love the passion. I love that everybody's hungry here. They wear the emotion on their shoulder. You know exactly what somebody's feeling. That's from Philly, and that's what I do love about Philly. I love the restaurants. Obviously, I think we have one of the best restaurant scenes in the country.
What are your best two restaurants you like?
You know what? We haven't been in the city in a long time. I heard Boramini is amazing.
Fantastic.
Haven't been there yet, so we have to check it out. Yeah, Steven Starr is the best. I mean, Budokan was our staple. Yeah. My buddy Teddy owns Mona, a couple of those restaurants. But I like Budokan is always that place. Budokan Park.
Love Park.
Vernick, there's so many good restaurants in the city, so it never gets old. So obviously the restaurant scene, the sports scenes, the Birds, the Sixers, the Flyers, and I love the people. I do love the people. I love their passion. So I'm always going to be a Philly boy, born and raised. And I know my kids are, my family are, and my wife is. So we love going to the games. We like to being together and supporting our team and the Philly scene.
All right, I'm going to start up here like I always ask, and everybody's, why do you always ask this one question? Favorite cheesesteak?
Oh, wow.
Man, I threw you left.
It used to be Pat steaks, but as of, I don't know, man. I like Geno's too, and I love Steve's steaks too. I don't know.
That's Northeast Philly. Yeah,
I know. I don't know. I like Steve's.
All right,
I like Steve's.
I like
Steve's.
Yeah, we got some good there. We got a bunch of running there.
Yes.
I always ask because you travel around the country. I mean, and because you're doing business in Miami, you're in New York, you're in New Jersey, you're in Philly. Question comes down always, what's the best cheesesteak? I always say, why not ask what's the best marinara or pasta in the city and go do something like that? Get out of this cheesesteak thing. Mine's Angela's. I love it.
Yeah, Angela's is good. Angela's is good.
And they got the recognition for a Michelin.
Michelin, yeah, they just got that, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's big stuff.
Listen, Philadelphia scene, I think we're very fortunate. That's one place. I wish we would go to the city more often. But when we get down there, I think the Philly restaurant scene is the best.
As Alan Dom called Rittenhouse, it's the crown jewel. It's like the beachfront of Philly, and everything grows out from there.
100%.
I mean, between the restaurants there, Bormini's done a great job. I love those ones. I like Butcher Singer right around the corner.
Yeah, we haven't been to Butcher and Singer in a while. I like Barclay Prime a lot. That's our go-to steak.
I like Butcher Singer with the higher seats. The Barclay Prime's got that lower back seat.
Yeah, it's more that library feel. It's very that stuffy feel, which I like. I like that.
I know you do. You want to be drinking the red wine.
Yeah, the red wine, the martini, the nice steak. Yeah, that's me.
There you go. I'm with you. I'm 100% with you. All right. Something I always throw out there is, hey, everybody, this is the week of gratitude. This is Gratitude Month. We've got a couple more days. Love gratitude. You've got to go out. Change somebody's life. Have some fun with it, especially coming into Thanksgiving. Give grace for yourself. Give grace to the people around you.
Absolutely.
Coming into the end of the year, we've got less than 30-some days until 2026 when the ball drops. It starts over again. Crazy. Entering the 250th birthday of the United States right here out of Philly. Everything started here.
That's right.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. It is crazy. And I'm happy to be part of it again.
It is. So let's get into real estate. Let's talk about this. What are the biggest challenges you're seeing out in the marketplace right now?
I'm seeing inventory. I think there's a lack of inventory in the Philadelphia, Bucks County, Montgomery scene. I think there's a lot of sellers are on the fence of selling because they're not sure where they're going to go to. Mm-hmm. The rates have come down a little bit, so I think some people that were locked in at 3.5%, 4% rate that were, I'm not going to sell right now because why would I lose this interest rate? But now that they're coming down more to a number that's more in line with what somebody feels comfortable getting back into another mortgage, I think you're going to see more people coming out of the woodwork, and I think we're going to see more inventory hitting the market. But I definitely think inventory has been a big culprit of the market. I think lack of thereof.
I think the number I remember reading was 5.2 million in transactions that needed to be balanced, and we're somewhere around. I think it's going to be 3.9 or 4 million for the year.
Oh, so you got a ways to go.
Yeah, we've got a lot to go. I think the interest rates are doing. I also think a lot of the buyers. The average age. It was interesting. The average age of a first-time home buyer, I heard, is 40.
Really? Well, it's expensive now. Listen, I mean, if you look at the market right now, look at what a median home used to be, what, 250, 300,000? A medium home right now is like 550, 600,000.
Yeah.
If somebody's making $100,000 a year, it's hard for them after expenses, after taxes, insurance, for them to afford this house, plus putting the down payment money. So I think that's where people are a little bit nervous. So hopefully the rates coming down, it'll change things.
You have 70%. I think the number was 70% of the buyers last year were dinks and sinks, double income, no kids, and single income and no kids.
That makes sense. That makes
and
sense.
Of that, 26% of them were cash buyers that were coming from family, living off the thought pattern of the book Die with Zero. They're giving the kids the money now.
A lot of gifts.
Holding the note.
Yeah.
Getting the interest of 4, 5, 6% off the kids, or paying it back to their own trust. So that's changing that whole mortgage world, and that kind of changed a lot in COVID. It's interesting watching this through the years. I started with FHA. My first sale was $49,900. And the funniest thing is, I just sold a client of mine his sixth house in 35 years. He just bought a 1.6. He was nervous as hell.
Baby steps,
buying
literally.
4.9 coming out of the military.
Right.
And his mortgage payment was going to be $650. His mortgage payment now, he says, I could pay this house off in 7 months.
It's crazy.
So it's crazy of watching through the years clients.
What are your thoughts on the 50-year mortgage that they're talking about?
It's in other countries. The question is it ultimately comes down that you're just going to be leasing.
Yeah.
It's like leasing a house. You're going to get the tax write-off. Hopefully they give the tax write-off. It's going to give you some equity. But the average person in a home, it used to be 7.8 years. Now it's 12.
Yeah, they're spending more time. Listen, I've been in my house for 20 years.
I'm 22.
We've thought about moving a couple times, but we've ended up staying. We redo the house a couple times, and that's the end of it. But I feel that, most people, you talk to an accountant, they tell you never pay the house off. You want to have the debt. It's good debt to have. Then you tell my dad's very old school. He's like, no, pay it off. You should have no mortgage. So it depends on who you're dealing with. But I think it's going to give people that are young that want to buy a house that can't afford it on their $100,000 or whatever the case income to kind of stretch themselves if the mortgage is based on 50 years rather than 30 years.
Here's something. I mean, you've diversified into another city and a state that you love, and I love Florida. I've got a lot of dear friends there. I have a friend that Pete Middleton does great real estate in Nashville, and he's in Nashville and San Diego. But are you finding that people are buying a primary residence there and staying, but really they're working here? I'm seeing the young people are buying their dream house somewhere else and renting where they're working.
I think what you're seeing is a mixture. I think you're seeing some people that are living here that are downsizing, and they want to maybe buy something, to get their feet wet. Maybe they're going to Airbnb it, or maybe use it on the holidays, or give it to family and friends to use. So I'm seeing that. Then I'm seeing people that are like, after COVID, they're like, you know what? I'm going to buy a place down the shore. I'm going to buy a place in Florida, and I'm going to kind of, be bought back and forth. And then you have the ones that are just, I'm done. I'm done with Philadelphia. I want to, move to a warmer climate. My kids are out of school, the snowbirds. I think it's time. I don't need this big house here. Maybe I'll buy a little condo or townhouse in Montgomery County or Huntington, or Bucks County. And I'm going to buy a condo in Delray, in Fort Lauderdale, in Miami, and I'm going to be back and forth. So I'm seeing a lot of different scenarios. But for the most part, I think people want to take advantage of the tax breaks that are down there.
Especially Florida.
Correct. The in-state tuition for the kids that maybe are going to they move down there within 2 years of moving down there, they can take advantage of in-state tuition and pay a fraction of the cost for their kids
Not
going to
even
college.
a fraction. You were saying like a 10 to 15%.
Yes.
Overall.
It's a huge, break. So I think you're seeing a lot of that. And, listen, the weather. You get the weather. So you can't beat that. I was there yesterday for literally 24 to 36 hours, and it's a different weather, it's a different climate, it's a different mindset. I don't mind. I love working. I love the industry that I'm in, but I love working down there.
It's a little different. It is a little different. Like here, we're like, okay, we'll go get a steak, we'll have a cheesehead, we'll do something like that. Down there, you were saying, salad and a good grouper.
Yeah, salad good grouper. You go to the beach. You're done for the day. You go to the beach for a couple hours. I think it's a quality of life. You're outside, you're spending more time outside, you're going for walks, you're going for runs, you can go boating, you can go fishing. You're more active outside. Where here, you're only outside really like 4 or 5 months out of the year because, the spring and the fall. Summer gets hot, obviously, but in wintertime, nobody's going out. When it's really like this, you don't want to go outside.
Yeah, when I work with a lot of my clients, I say, buy the house inside. Don't buy the outside.
Right,
Because your
100%.
time's going to be there. You're going to be spending more time in
Without a
in
time.
there.
Without a time.
What do you think? What advice do you have for sellers getting ready to come to the market right now?
I think you need to make.
Is it a good time to come to the market?
So I have a very different point of view, and I'm not sure what your point of view is. I feel that sellers should be, or the market's always, somebody's always looking to buy.
Exactly.
So, and I feel if somebody's looking to buy during this time frame, during the holiday months, when the weather's not great, everybody's shopping for the holidays, they're the most serious buyers that are out there. So I think if somebody's looking to sell, right now is a good a time as the spring as well, because in the springtime I feel you're hitting more competition. More people are getting their houses ready for sale. Mm-hmm. So you're going to be, their one development has nothing for sale. All of a sudden in the springtime you're going to see 2 or 3. Well, right now there's people looking now, and you're not going to have anybody you're competing against. So I think if you're looking to sell, right now is a great time, even more so than the springtime.
I agree up with you 100%. A lot of agents don't agree because they're in that range set of this is the up, this is the down. Stop thinking that. Yeah. You can't live life in those things. You gotta. I know that I've got X amount of houses I still have to sell by the end of the year. You 100%. Know that. I've got 30 whatever days, and I still have time to sell. we just did 3-4 last week. So,
yeah, it's
this week. So
you have to always be. Listen, our team understands that we have one job. We have to sell real estate. It's great to be on social media, and it's great to be out there and doing your thing. But at the end of the day, we have a job that our clients hired us to do, and that's to sell their properties. So we need to make sure that we're at the top of our game. So if we can market the property right now when there's less competition, I'd rather do that now versus the spring when there's more competition out there.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I always say, well, what do you think the future's going to be? I gave up the crystal ball.
No,
how do you know? Buy a crystal ball.
You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen.
You know the present. The past is the past.
Yeah.
The future's a lie too. What is here right now? And what are we doing?
I can't tell you what the market's going to do. I know if the rates come down a couple more times, which is what they're predicting again in the next 3 to 6 months, then I think there's going to be more buyers and sellers coming out of the woodwork. But who knows what's going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm seeing a balance of a lot of sellers that. You're very truthful. You'd rather walk away from a listing. You're going to tell them right between the eyes, and I am the same way.
Happens a lot.
Years. The bottom line comes down to a lot of people are yesing it, but then now people are calling you back saying, okay, you know what? Second time around. You want to be firstborn, second wife, and sorry, Maxine and Linda, they're our first wives. Linda's my wife, and Maxine is Joseph's. I'm keeping my first. I way overpunted my coverage. So I'm blessed with that. And then third realtor. That was the market. That was jokes years ago. But the realistic, it's second or third because.
You have to educate your client, and it's hard. And again, when I first got in the business, I wanted every listing. If I got a call for a listing, I want to make sure I get that listing. And if they told me they want $100,000 over ask, what the house is actually going for, I would take it. But now, I've come to a realization that you need to be transparent with your client from the beginning. And I've lost listings. Mm-hmm. There's a house in Huntington Valley. I went to the listing appointment maybe 3 weeks ago. They're like, we want $850. I'm like, it's not worth $850. It's worth $699. Well, we want to get $850. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not the guy for you. And I walked away. They listed for $850. It's on the market right now. They dropped it to $799, and it's going to sit in the market probably until March or April. And if it doesn't sell, if the guy has a long enough listing, he'll eventually drop it to $699. He's going to sell it, and he'll be the hero. But ultimately, it should have been listed at $699. It would have sold overnight. They would have been in their new house in Florida by now. You need to be upfront with people. I know it's hard for a new agent, even not even a new agent, a seasoned agent, to tell a client like you're wrong, like you're hiring me for a job. That's why I'm here. You need to listen to what I'm telling you. I'm here to advise you. Just like you go to a doctor, he's going to advise you the best, medicine, best way to handle your health. We're here to help, handle your biggest asset, your house. So trust us.
Yeah. Let's go on to another area there. Social media.
Yes.
It's huge. You've blown up in past 3 years and creating the experience. And that's what Disney is. Disney isn't an amusement park. It's an experience that you can remember the memories and all that stuff. And you're creating that whole aura of it. And a lot of agents say, I don't want to get on social media. I don't want to do this. My belief is if you're not doing it, you're going to be in that lower echelon. It's just like using AI. It's not that you're not going to be in the business. You're going to be out of it.
You're going to be left in the dust. 100%. I'm going to use my dad as an example. My dad, in his prime, he was the go-to guy. He controlled like Richborough, Holland, new to him and his partner. Yeah. And I remember he was living high because he was doing so well. They never reinvested into the marketing. They just had the name, word of mouth. This is use Vlad. But eventually, the next, big thing comes out, and those people are the ones that are taking advantage of social media. So in order for us to stay above the curve, you need to constantly be in people's faces. I started with Facebook back in 2008. I was doing static posts, like posting a listing just listed moments ago, yada, yada, yada. And I remember my friends and clients and even other realtors, like, what are you posting on Facebook for? Nobody's going to buy a house from Facebook. Lo and behold, almost 20 years later, that's how everybody's buying their homes, social media. Nobody's looking in these magazines, Homes and Land, Homes and Living. It's all online. It's on your smartphone. So we're very big on, obviously social media. In the last 3 to 4 years, we started doing more videos. So I think if you are looking to get into any type of space in regard to marketing yourself to the, to nth degree, you need to be in social media and you need to be consistent. That's one thing people do. They try Facebook, they try Instagram, they try TikTok, they try YouTube. They're like, oh, it's not working after 3 months. You need to do it every day, consistently, twice, 3 times a day. What works for me might not work for you, and vice versa. I was doing billboards back in 2012, and I remember my buddy Lance, who actually said, get on the billboards. He said, you're not going to see results right away. It won't even happen after a year or even 2. But eventually, the branding is going to kick in. So the branding with social media, the branding with the billboards, the branding with our TV commercials. Now it all comes together, and that's what keeps people, aware of your surrounding. You want to have exposure, and that's what we have. We have the exposure. In order to be successful in any industry, you have to have exposure to the outside world.
I call it the onion. It's just layering and layering and
Yeah.
layering. And as you get deeper, it gets sweeter. The outside is the hard stuff you don't want to do, the things you don't want to handle.
You have to do it every day.
And it's exhausting. There are days you're like, I don't feel like doing this.
I don't like it. Listen, I don't mind. Listen, it's very difficult being on camera all the time. And my videographer, Mayank, is amazing. And he's very patient with me. He is, because you're sitting there and you're doing like 15 takes to get it perfect, and then he has to go back and edit it, and he has to make you look good. I don't look good. I mean, he makes me look good. But in order for us to kind of, people like to see what works for us is the raw behind the scenes, and that's what's been working for us, and that's what people want to see: how we get the listing, how we sell the listing, and what goes on with the banter between the team, the seller, the buyer. That people want to see emotion, drama. Numbers, and that's what we're banking on. But in order for me to be successful in any industry you're doing, you need to use social media to your advantage, because it's a huge tool.
Absolutely. I mean, I know I have other agents, and I collaborate with a lot of agents just like you do. They say, hey, would you come and walk this house? I'm afraid of doing it. I'll go walk their house, and guess what? I'm helping.
Yeah.
I'm changing a life. I'm helping them do it.
100%.
But if I can find a buyer, I can do it. I live in abundance with that, and we go from there. So, all right, if you were to give any advice to buyers out in the marketplace right now, we touched on sellers. Yes, get to the market. Yes, get the house ready. Yes, price it right. Get to somebody who's using social media. Get to somebody who's using AI, things like that. That's another. You're going to come back again in this spring. You're going to be back on the radio show when you're.
Let's do it.
But buyers, what advice do you have for the buyers in this marketplace today?
I think you need to be prepared. I think a lot of these buyers come out to the market not having a pre-approval, not having their finances, all aligned, not knowing where they want to be. I think you need to figure out, number one, go to a lender. Make sure you know what you're pre-approved for. Make sure you can afford what you're wanting to buy. Make sure you know what your budget is. Some people they think they can afford a house for $500,000 when in reality they can afford a house for only $250,000 or $300,000. They have no idea. So get pre-approved. Make sure your finances are in order, and know where you want to be. You're basing it off of the school district, because where your kids are going to go to school 2-3 years from now. Are you about to have kids? Do you want to be in a townhouse? Be prepared. Or do you want to be in a condo? Be prepared for the condo fees, the assessments. Do you want to be in a fee simple single home? Do you want to have land? Do you want to have a pool? Proximity to 95. Proximity. You need to be prepared on where you want to be, because sometimes when agents, buyers call me like, Joe, we want to buy a house. Okay, where? Well, we're not sure. We want to have a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath. Okay, location. Well, Bucks County. Well, where in Bucks County? You need to give me some. I need to know where. So I think buyers need to come into the marketplace knowing what they want. Make sure they're pre-approved and have the cash in hand.
Yeah, I believe is instead of just doing the pre-approval, go through the whole process like they're
100%.
approved and get there. That is the hardest thing, is getting that information out. A lot of agents out there are Pop-Tarts, are like, poof, and they run.
Yeah.
I don't do that. I got to sit and we'll talk to you. I got to understand, we might not be the right match.
100%.
You dealing with somebody versus somebody on your team, like Elena dealing with somebody is going to be a lot nicer and a lot different. I usually got to calm and bring it down a little bit, because we're running up here where, Loretta over there is always on. I love her.
Well, she's
like right between
all
the
over
eyes.
the map. Yeah, she's all over the map. But everybody has, I know when I get a lead, and a client says, I'm looking for such and such, and this is what my budget is, and this is what I'm looking for. I know based on that 30-second conversation, who I'm going to give it to on my team. Whether it's Loretta, because I see the banter and I see that they're going to be okay. And then I see some that are like, they won't be able to handle Loretta's, outbursts or her antics. So that's definitely not a play. I want to get somebody more calm on the team, like Linda or Alina. So you have to really kind of, juggle who's the best fit. Because sometimes I'm not the best fit. I can, after a 30-second conversation, maybe me